Hey designers, have you ever wondered why some businesses really succeed well and just rocket to success and others don't and kind of flounder and fail? As UX designers, it's really important that we think through what actually makes businesses successful and how we can help think creatively about what's possible and how we can actually set businesses up for success. Today, we're going to use the business model canvas by Strategizer, and we're going to do some note-taking in our notebooks and do some sketching just to try to understand why Apple Fitness Plus is set up to succeed and is probably going to change the way we think about fitness forever. Let's dive in. So this is the business model generation book. This book is by a company called Strategizer. They're a great company. You can check them out online. There's lots of books and webinars and resources and all kinds of things you can do. But one of the things I love about this book is that it actually provides a very clear framework for thinking about and evaluating product design and UX design. And so this is more on the idea of service design level. Essentially what you're seeing here is the business model canvas, and that's really what this book is all about. And I want to dive into that a little bit today, and I want to take a look at Apple Fitness Plus and why I think that Apple Fitness Plus is really primed to succeed well. Okay, so here we are back with a notebook. And I want to do this sort of in a designerly way. I want to use sketching, I'm going to use modeling, I'm going to draw it out so it's easier for us to understand. So the first thing I want to just say is that, all of our design is always aimed at a problem. It's aimed at solving something. We can actually make a few assumptions or a few assertions. First of all, Apple needs to make profit, right? They need revenue. They need to continue to grow their business. They also are very much into the health. They want to promote, good health. So they want to promote good health. You can see this with a lot of their social causes they're going after. You can see it as you look at the health data that they're providing, the EKG type activity and features that they're adding to their products. But I think what's important for us to understand is that there's a problem, right? There's a problem. This is what they are shooting for. And one of the ways that they can do that is they can create new products and new services. And that's where the business model canvas actually comes in and it's really helpful. So let's just summarize this as the problem that we're going to define for Apple, which we don't really know, but we could take a guess. We need to increase our monthly recurring revenue by making a positive impact on people's health and well-being. So they need to increase their monthly recurring revenue, MRR, which will turn into profit, by making a positive impact on people's health. So positive impact. Not just because they believe that this is going to bring them a lot of money, but they actually do believe, and you can see this in a lot of their work, you can see that they actually believe that this is good for humanity in general. So let's dive in then actually to why I think the business model canvas can actually help us. So let's flip to a new page. All right, so fresh, blank, new page. We're going to draw out the basics of the business model canvas. So it actually starts with just a very wide canvas. There is a column in the center, which gets broken down this way. So you actually wind up with several different quadrants. You have on the left side, too tall, you have a tall one in the middle, you have a quadrant down here and a quadrant down here. This is the basic field of play then for the business model canvas for Apple Fitness Plus. So we're not going to look at the entire canvas today. I am going to write down all the different areas, but there's a few key pieces that I want to focus on for Apple Fitness Plus. So let's actually just lay out all the different areas. So the first thing is key partners. These would be who are the companies and the services and the other things that Apple partners with to actually provide the service that they're going to provide for in their company or that they currently provide. Then they have what's called a value proposition. This is what value they're going to offer then to their customer segments. So you have key partners, which work with the business. This is on the business side. You have the value proposition, which is the center. See, it's central to the actual design of the service that they're going to offer, or that they currently offer. And then they also have their customer segments. So on the left-hand side, it's very business focused. On the right-hand side, it's very customer focused. In between then, you have your key activities. These are the unique things that Apple would be doing that their competitors aren't doing. These are the unique things that Apple is doing that puts them well positioned in the market that they're serving. And then there's key resources. These are the things that Apple has in their power and in their possession that are under their command and their control, that they can actually deploy then to the value proposition and actually make it a feasible thing for the customer segment. So then on this side with the customer segment, you have, in this top square, you have the customer relationships. And then down here, you have channels. Relationships is really the way that you connect with people. These are the kinds of relationships that you've built. This might be customer service. This might be their, Apple kiosks. This might be the stores that they have. And then they have channels, which is the way that they're actually going to get or obtain the actual service. So channels are the way that you would do that. So this is the basic canvas. Down here, you have revenue streams. This is where they're going to get their money. And then these are costs. This is what it's going to take. So where I would like to focus today in Apple Fitness Plus is actually in a few key areas. First, their key resources, their key activities, the value proposition, the channels, and then their customer segments. And really where this is going to come down to is when we're thinking about evaluating a new product design, one of the things that is super important and super powerful is that we actually look at the resources that we have available to us, the activities we're doing, and how that relates to the value we want to bring and the ways that our customers are going to get it. So you might look at this and say, well, this is all very boring business stuff. It doesn't really apply to UX design. And I would say, actually, no, this entirely does apply to design. When you think about service design, one of the things that you're doing is actually creating services from scratch. And so there's a lot of creativity here because you can look at all the elements that are going to be at play on this canvas, and you can begin to combine them in different new ways to create new services. So let's go back to our problem. Apple wants to increase their monthly recurring revenue by making a positive impact on people's health and well-being. So they're going to start laying out what are some of the key activities we do. Well, we monitor health data, right? One of the resources they're actually going to have then is also going to be health data coming along with that, but I don't think we need to be redundant there on this one. This is a key one. This is one for us to understand. Another activity is they actually promote well-being. They actually promote well-being in people. They want humans to be healthy, and you can see that reflected in the design of the rest of their products. So other resources that they have. Okay, what do they have in their command and control? What are some of the things that are unique to them? Well, they have music, and they have a lot of it. They have Apple Music, which spans millions and millions and millions of songs. That's actually a key resource. That's not something that might immediately jump out to you, but as you're going through and you're listing different parts of the company as their resources, this is where it actually becomes very powerful because you can begin combining these things in new ways. So what else do they have in their resources? Well, they probably have some sort of internal fitness program. Some sort of internal fitness program. This is probably something that they do for their employees. There may even be, there may have even been a version of Apple Fitness Plus that existed internally that they were sort of piloting and testing out, seeing if they could improve the health and the lives of their employees. Now, what else do they have? One of their other activities is streaming content and their distribution networks. So these are two other resources and activities that are very important to understand. Now again, some of these are very related. It can kind of get, a little mushy the way you define them, but one of their activities really is streaming content, and they have distribution networks set up to do that well. So this is going to prime us then to say, where are they actually going to engage? Where can customers actually get these things? Well, right now they have Apple TV, They have computers. They have mobile devices. And they have watches. They're wearables. These are just a few of the channels that they actually have. You could also look at some of the other channels, like their brick and mortar stores. You could look at their online, but for sake of right now, this is actually pretty helpful. So they have lots of relationships. We're not really going to get into that right now. Key partners. This is interesting. So if they have an internal fitness program, and I'm just sort of assuming they did, maybe they didn't, but for the story that we're painting, this is kind of a fun little example. So maybe they have a partner with fitness instructors. Maybe they have partners with other people as well, other key partners. But one of the things we're looking at now is all of a sudden you can start to see, wow, we have a lot of things in front of us that we can begin playing with. Interesting. So as you think about this, the value proposition that they want to offer is maybe we want to help improve people's health. Like, that's part of the problem statement that we started with. We want to make a positive impact on people's health and well-being. So their value proposition is improved health and well-being. Interesting. Well, who do we want to sell this to? Well, obviously you have existing customers and subscribers to Apple products. Okay, that's good, but there's probably not everybody who's going to want to improve their health and well-being. They may aspire to that, but the actual people they're going to sell to are probably going to be more inclined to this. And when you think about it, look back and you can see Apple has partners with Nike. Interesting. Nike is a partner. Okay, now we're starting to come together with some more interesting pieces of our framework here, of our business model canvas. So we probably wanted to sell to existing customers and subscribers who are interested in fitness. So you can see there's a high resonance now between the customers interested in fitness, and now they have this resource of, Nike and a key partner with Nike, and a lot of the things that they've created over the past many years, they've actually fostered a good opportunity to help people improve their health and well-being. So what does this have to do with Apple? Well, here's where it gets really interesting and really fun. Because they have all of these things set up, they're now positioned to do something with all of these. So the next real step would be, what are the costs to run this? Well, we already have streaming content platforms. We already have distribution networks. We have this massive library of music that we could probably license with all of the people. Partners, music labels. You can see now, all of a sudden we have these people that we can partner with to produce a value that we're going to bring to our customers. And we have ways of getting it to them. So we now have these costs and we have revenue. And obviously Apple went with the monthly recurring revenue because that was our problem. We want to increase our monthly recurring revenue. So we need subscriptions to health service. So now you have your subscriptions to the health service. So designers, look at this. You see that this is actually an activity that's very, very creative. It might feel sort of logical. It might feel like, okay, now we're just observing the world, but this is actually living within the domain knowledge, within the field of play that we have available to us. So as we're thinking about this, our costs can be actually fairly low because all we're doing now is, we have streaming costs and we have production costs. So if we can get estimates on this and figure out what we can actually sell this for, now all of a sudden we're going to make a big impact on our revenue. One of the things that's really interesting is when you look at current gym prices, they range in my area here in Ohio anywhere from $30 a month up to as low as $10 a month, but they all sort of have this startup fee or this initiation fee. None of that actually happens with Apple Fitness Plus. You actually can subscribe to this, and in some cases you can get the entire Apple One bundle, which includes Apple Fitness Plus and a whole host of extra storage and other streaming services and everything else for the cost of a normal gym membership. That really positions Apple well. So let's say here, subscriptions to health service, what if it's $10 a month? Is that possible? Can we do it for $10 a month? If we can, we're going to offer a very high quality experience to customers for less than it takes for them to leave their home, go out to a different neighborhood and drive, spend gas and spend time, and all sorts of other, resources to actually get what they want out of their fitness program. So you can actually see with a business model canvas, Apple is really, really well positioned to do this. But let's move on to a few other things. I'm going to grab blue because it's fun to sort of do this. So now that we have a lot of this jotted down and we have this figured out, one of the things that we can do is actually look at what else happens around the world. So even if we had the perfect design and we created a service for $10 a month and everything else, we already have our partners figured out. We know what our costs are going to be. This seems like it's going to be a profitable business. One of the things we need to figure out is what's actually else is happening in the world to help us understand this. Well, we had COVID, and that shut down gyms for a long time. So Apple actually was able, in the midst of a COVID pandemic, to help people still maintain their health and their well-being, right from the convenience of their home. And they've actually designed it in such a way that it's actually very low cost. Most people were not going to have to go out and buy new equipment. They can do it with their body weight, and they can exercise with their body weight. They can exercise and stretch. They can do yoga. If they happen to have some equipment, basic equipment like a bike, they can do that as well. So you can see that the things outside of Apple's control really actually push them to position in the absence of where people could actually get their fitness. People could actually come and actually get it in a time when it was not available elsewise. So Apple Fitness Plus has really revolutionized the way that this is going to go. Well, I hope that this has been a helpful exploration of how to think creatively about service design and businesses and what is actually going to set things up for succeed. There's no way for design to predict the future. There's no way for a designer to be able to predict the future. But in the end, we can actually set businesses up for the best possible success and think about ways of innovating on what's out there by using things like the business model canvas to help us think more creatively about what's possible, where we could go, and how to innovate in the spaces that we designed for. So if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. If you have questions, comments, or you're wondering more about how to get in touch with Strategyzer, check the description. There'll be links to all their books and to their website and to the resources that they offer. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you have found this helpful. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to get the latest content as it comes out. And if you want to level up your design and creative abilities, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you get the latest content as soon as it's available. Thank you for watching. Thank you everyone for your support. Go make something awesome.